Hi friends, it's Julia. Welcome to 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life Series 11. Today is day number 19. The sketch today is a one photo sketch and the designer is Chittle? Yvette Martinez. Sorry. Yeah, that first name is a go-getter, y'all. And obviously I dropped the ball. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anywho, one photo sketch. So I'm starting with a piece of white background paper, cardstock, and it's just a basil sheet instead of my random close to my heart one. And I'm starting off with this photo. There's lots of design elements on here as far as almost not triangle pieces, but half of a frame, if you will. They look, I'll show you a close-up of the sketch here in just a minute. Anywho, there's a little spot for journaling. There's a little spot for a title. There's some embellishments around the page. And I think this one will work well with scraps. So I'm done with the pattern papers in my collection, the 12 by 12s. I don't have any 12 by 12s left. So this is all of my scraps. Y'all can see I'm a little bit neurotic here. I put them all in size order and I have all of my strips right here. And I have a boatload of border strips or cut down pieces, and so I want to use these with this sketch to see what I can create. I think it should be fun. It should be enlightening to see if I can create anything with all of these, because they all have a similar color feel, if you will. They're not all the same color family, but they are same color feel. I'm going to cut my photo down and then I'm going to back it with something. I've got some larger pieces of paper here that I can back it with. So we'll see. I don't know that any of these have a plain, oh, there's a piece of white cardstock that I can use if nothing else. Anywho, so let me see what I can get creating with this collection of scraps. Okay friends, I am done with layout number 19. Here's all the scraps I didn't use. Like you guys could tell, right? I used quite a few of the border strips on my layout. And here are all the cut-off pieces that I used. You can see I have a ton of smaller offcuts, and that's okay. These papers I used to map my photo. So I have a couple of pieces left there. And here's actually a piece of chipboard that I had left over. So all that will go back into my stash. I did finish off two sets of bling. I had a couple pieces left on each of those carrier sheets, so that feels good to get those used up. I used labels from both of these sheets. I used stickers from both of these sheets. I used chipboard from here and from here. And then I used puffy stickers from here. I used flat stickers from each of these sheets. I used a brad for my tag. Here's some leftover enamel dots that I had pulled in, and I used a couple of those. I used 3 of the orange star embellishments from that sticker pack, and I used all 3 of these alphabets. These 2 for my date and then this one for my title. Now let me show you the layout that I completed. And remember, I told you I had this idea in my head when I saw that sketch to use border strips. My problem is I kept that sketch up on the computer, and it was the way that they had the pieces that went like this, they were graded in, so they were at an angle. And so I kept that up and I looked at it as I was putting this together. So then I started cutting these down a little bit shorter on each of these little clusters, and I did not like that. I didn't like it at all. You can see here, it's graded there, it's graded there, it's graded there. So when I started putting my embellishments down, I started putting them where it covered the most, because I really like how all the papers turned out. And you can see, I'm going to get you up here close enough. There's an embellishment cluster, but look at how those papers, I left a white gap between here and a white gap between here, here and here. then there's a white gap around the photo, and instead of putting, I put 3 on this side, but I only put 2 on this side, and that's okay. It worked out. It's not my favorite layout only because of the fact of how these were graded. If I'd have gone with my first inclination on what I was thinking to do was to take these strips all the way to the edge, I think I would have liked it a lot better. And because I put this down here, I was going to cut some of those scallop pieces and put them at the top and the bottom, and I didn't do that because I went a little too low with this tag, and after I had everything glued down, I started to cut out, fussy cut those scallop pieces from Felicity Jane, and it just wasn't going to work with here without it. It just didn't feel right, so I left it alone. So not my favorite layout, but my favorite layout. Does that make sense? I love using up border strips, and this was such a unique thought process in putting these together and doing it this way. And if I had not seen that sketch today, I would not have even ventured to come up with this on my own, I don't think. Usually when I do a layout with border strips, it's like I take them all and go in one direction all the way down the page or all the way across this way or somehow, but I've never done a layout like this before. So that makes me feel good. If I repeat the process, and I have lots of border strips if I wanted to repeat this once the challenge is over, to do it like I want to do it and keep all of these level and not try and grade them up. So, but I like the overall effect that it gave, and I think the way that I put the embellishment cluster here and here, it kind of hid some of that. I wish I had brought this down a little bit farther, but it's okay. It works out. It worked out. It's another one for the album, and that I'm good with. I'm going to show you close-ups of the embellishment clusters and maybe the way these are laid out, the way the paper strips are laid out. These stickers, this sticker here, I popped up on foam adhesive, and that's really the only one that I did that with. And did my journaling up here on all those labels, and I love doing that. This had a flower here, and because I hadn't put any flowers in any other cluster, I covered that up and just put an ampersand, and today was fantastic. Yeah, I love how this one turned out, but I don't like how it turned out. I'm so wishy-washy sounding tonight, y'all. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. I would love it if you would flip me a thumbs up, and I hope this inspires you to get into your stash and play with some of your goodies and create something fun. And don't forget, head over to the Facebook channel called Christy's Beautiful Life and play along over there, and you will be so inspired by the other layouts that people are creating. Anyway, friends, I will talk to you on the next layout. Bye-bye.